Happy autumn, fangirls and fanboys, and welcome to the Electric Fan Cave on electricfeast.com. Corrigan Vaughn and Kristin Latterell with you, and that's right, fall is here. And with it comes all the TV we've been waiting for through the summer. It's a TV-centric episode today. We're going to talk about our new favorite show, Gotham, our consistent favorite show, The Mindy Project, and the forecast for this fall television season. We're also going to tell you about the amazing Mighty Ducks cast reunion and Nick Jonas's impossible-to-explain new music video. And we're going to test Kristin's 90s knowledge with a little internet quiz. Good times should be had by y'all. And I have to apologize because lately the neighbor kids have picked exactly whatever time I'm recording to play outside, and their absolute favorite activity is screaming.
Yes,
so,
that was always my favorite activity as a child as well.
I'm learning between, living here in Santa Barbara and when I was living in Orange County that this is a thing kids love to do. Like, screaming is the ultimate in fun.
Yeah. Maybe, like, for no real reason.
Yeah. Like, it's not like they're scared. Like,
or they're, like, playing some kind of game where you're screaming. It's just, like, just
like, the sound or the feeling.
Yeah. I wonder if they have to be quiet all day in school. They need, like, this release. In order to do that, you run around and yell.
Yeah. And I'm wondering if I did that because I was a pretty quiet, introverted kid in general. And so, like, I don't know, maybe it's the discovery of, like, your voice.
But you were not toddlers. These are older children.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I feel like this is a thing when you get between, like, 5 and 10 years old that there's, like, a screaming phase that little girls go through.
And that's like a really high octave.
Oh, my gosh. It's
it's like when you go to a
Jonas Brothers concert.
We went to Jonas Brothers, and I'm like, at this point, I was, like, too old to be at a Jonas Brothers concert. And I'm
Same here.
I can't. I mean, dogs can hear this sound.
Right, like, it was so piercing that it almost wasn't loud. Like, this is just at the top of my... I
hear it anymore.
This is at the top of the register of what my ears can take in, and I'm okay. So, there was that. So I apologize for any screaming you hear in the back. It's happened the past few weeks.
Yeah.
It's literally, it doesn't matter when I record. That just happens to be the time they go outside. I'm like, don't you go to school?
Keeps us on our toes.
It does. It's true. That's what children are for, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't really know actually what children are for.
I don't know. I don't understand children. They're
me neither. And they don't understand me. So it's a really great relationship that we
I was watching something the other day that had a great... because I've been binge watching Parks and Recreation.
Yeah, you have. It's awesome.
Yeah, I finally get it now. And after all these years of Kristin telling me. But there's an episode where Ron's girlfriend's kids are
Lucy Lawless.
Which I didn't realize was Lucy Lawless until I was like, she kind of has an accent. Who is that? And then I Googled it. I was like, what? She looks like she's 30. That woman. She's a Time Lord.
She has aged well.
She's gorgeous.
She's actually Xena.
Yeah, she is legit Xena in real life, I think. And so Ron is in the office with her 2 children, these 2 little girls, and Karen walks in and Ron tries to get her to sort of, like, hang out with the kids, and she just immediately gets super awkward, and the kids are sketched out, and then she just runs away. Yeah, that's me with kids all the time, just being completely, like, awkward and weird, and I just want to, like, run away, so I usually, like, offer them an animal when they come over, like my rabbit or my dog, and I'm just like, play with that, and all is well with the world. But yeah, if you're like me and you refused to watch Parks and Recreation because you hated the first season or whatever when you watched it, Kristin is right.
It's right. Guys, it's so good.
Yeah, push through.
And honestly, I mean, I actually liked it from the beginning. So whatever.
No accounting for taste there, laddie.
Whatever. Yeah. Whatever to you guys. I mean, it does get progressively better. Mm-hmm. I found out, but still one of my favorite episodes is the one where she goes and her mom's getting that award, so she gets the, like, mayor haircut. And after I watched that episode, I tried to go to sleep that night, but all I could do was giggle. Like, I laid in bed and I'm like hysterically my roommate thought there was something wrong with me. I'm, like, hysterically laughing at her, just like how cool she is. And she's like, and Anne's like, they think I'm a trophy. She's like, I'm a trophy wife. Like, we're lesbians. And she's like in a prom dress. And
it's such a good running gag.
It is so wonderful.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then once Andy really gets to be like one of the main characters, because the first season, I think he's not super main character. No, he's kind of fringy. Peripheral. And then when he gets to be the main, it's just, that's when it really comes together. And then when, what's his face shows up?
Rob Lowe.
Rob Lowe is just phenomenal.
When Rob Lowe and Adam Scott show up, that like really is a
Clinches
game changer in it. Like it was already good before that, but Rob Lowe is pretty much the best character on the planet. Like everything about him, he feels everything so strongly, and he's so happy all the time. And then when he's not, it's so crippling.
Amazing. It's like almost more amazing than when he's happy.
Oh my gosh, I was shocked at how much I ended up loving that character. I was skeptical, and it's glorious.
Yeah.
So there's Parks and Rec. That's my binge watch right now. There's other things I should be binge watching. Good Wife just came back on for the season, and I only got halfway through last season, and then got the world's worst spoiler that I'm still so upset about. So freaking and so I haven't caught up, but the last season is on Amazon now, and I'm like, you have to push through, Corrigan.
Well, yeah, and it sucks when you have the spoiler, because you're like, well, what's the point? Life has no meaning.
Yeah, like, and I know every episode I'm gonna be waiting for it too.
Right.
Like, I'm just gonna be like, is this the one? Is this the one where it happens?
Yeah, I actually know what it is. I don't watch that show, but I do know what it is, so I can imagine that being miserable.
Yeah. And
it's kind of like Downton Abbey when you know that they didn't sign up for the next one, so like, well, you're obviously killing that person off gone. Or whatever, you know? Mm-hmm. And you're just like, this must be it. Is this it? No? Okay, it'll be the next one for sure.
I will say, I don't think I knew on Downton Abbey that they hadn't signed contracts until later. And so when, especially the first death in that season happened.
That one was but it was the second one that... I feel like we're being so vague, but we know what's happening here.
Yeah.
The second one, that's super traumatic. At least we're just prepared.
But the first one, we're sobbing.
The first one
in my bed.
A piece of my soul broke.
Ripped out.
I actually still have it. I think it's on the floor of your old house.
It might be. You guys, this is a ridiculous me and Kristin moment where for some reason at my old house, we couldn't get PBS in the living room. Yeah. I could only get it in my bedroom. So Kristin would come over on Sunday nights, and we would watch Downton Abbey in my bed. And
usually drinking wine and eating cookies or something.
Exactly, getting crumbs everywhere. It was wonderful.
Keo probably hated it.
And so we were watching this episode of Downton where if you watch it, you know the first tragic death of 2 seasons ago was just like, it blindsided you because it's one of those beloved characters and like the only really solidly good character on that show. Mm-hmm. And this happens, and we were sobbing and yelling.
Inconsolable.
Yeah, like just tears everywhere, holding pillows to our faces, just like
screaming into blankets. I was screaming.
Oh my gosh. That was probably one of the harshest TV moments I can remember ever happening. This is like we were talking in book club this past week about books making you throw the book because you're so upset. This was like the TV, like I was about to rip the TV off the wall and just be like, no!
Right, as if that would make it better, you know?
Screw you, Julian Fellows, and everything you stand for. Yeah, well, anyway, TV is a thing that makes us upset.
We get very into it. So
we do. We get really into it.
It's a short story of that.
Yeah, long story short, we get a little emotional about the media we take in.
Just a skosh.
Yeah, which is why this Mighty Ducks reunion was so fabulous. D2, Mighty Ducks, came out 20 years ago. D2!
I know.
Came out 20 years ago.
That part first, I just kind of... I guess I wasn't really paying attention too much as to like who it was. I just was like, oh, Mighty Ducks! And then when I realized it was D2, I'm like, wait, that... Oh, I don't know. That made it almost worse.
Right? It's like, oh my god.
Somehow that made it worse. But these aged well.
Yeah, and I love this because this happened when we saw the Little Rascals reunion a few weeks ago too. That we were like, oh my god, these guys look great.
Goldberg?
Oh my gosh, Goldberg!
It took me like 4 passes by that picture to realize that was him. Like. You know, trying to do the same as his old poster.
Yeah, I mean, this is a kid who was in a movie about Fat Camp.
He was, he was large and in charge.
He was, and he's like this skinny
fantastic.
Little... Yeah,
he's looking good.
He looks so good. They all look good, and what's her name in real... Marguerite?
I don't know what her name is.
I don't know.
I actually don't think I know any of their names.
He's also in Wet Hot American Summer.
Pacey.
You know.
Except
for Pacey, yes, obviously.
Joshua Jackson. That's not even his real life name. Good
No,
Lord.
I don't know any of their real names except Pacey.
It's Pacey's name, which isn't Pacey, but you know what I mean.
She looks incredible. Let's just talk about everything about her is absolutely perfect, and all of these dudes, they just look great. And like I said when we talked about Little Rascals, I love seeing child stars who have grown up, and you're like, you're doing all right. You seem to
I just think that's hope for the rest of us.
Exactly. Well, I feel like child stars are like the exaggerated like outlook on what life is for the rest of us, because they always do everything harder. Like, if they're going to have an alcohol problem, they are going to have an alcohol problem.
They're not just going to like kind of have a small one. It's going to be
they're going to go all
life
out.
crippling.
Like, there's probably going to be blow and other things involved. And if they're going to, do normal life, they're going to be like the what's his face, who is also in Sandlot, Benny the Jet Rodriguez.
Oh, Benny the Jet.
Yeah, and be like a hardcore firefighter guy who's awesome
and amazing. I'm telling you, and I really do. I'm enjoying this fact. I mean, and there was also a Seventh Heaven reunion a while back, which was missing. What's her face? The youngest one.
Yeah, Ruthie.
Mackenzie something.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Mackenzie Rossman.
Like all of these reunions are like steadily, people are getting on the reunion back, and that one actually looked like they just had dinner. Sometime.
Well, they said though they hadn't done it in 8 years.
But still, I think the fact that they weren't, I mean, like, this Mighty Duck one was, like, clearly for something, and the Little Rascals was for something, but this was just, we haven't had dinner in 8 years. Let's all get together and have dinner. And I'm like, oh my God, it's so wonderful.
No, it's so cute. They're just in someone's house.
And you, like, see them, and there's, like, empty wine. I mean, one of my favorite things is, like, a table full of friends, and actually my favorite thing is, like, an empty table full of, like, messy dishes and empty wine bottles and all of those things, because it's just, I don't know, just is reminiscent of like that. You were laughing, and you had really good food, and everyone enjoyed it because all the plates are clean. And
you sat there for 2 hours catching up on life,
right? And so that's what was so perfect about that picture. I think it was just such a great kind of life thing, because to me, I'm like, you know what, I kind of want to get together with some old friends and have like a big dinner like that. That's what it instilled in me. Because I'm like, I miss that. I haven't had that in a while, and I think it's something we miss with things like social media and stuff. You think you know people. I'm like, no, but you don't until you sit and have a meal together, and anyway.
Absolutely. I think you nailed it.
About it. I love it. That's been my favorite one so far, simply for the context of in which it happened. I loved it.
Yeah, I will definitely give you that, because definitely with this, the Mighty Ducks, Little Rascals, Sandlot, all those things, they were brought together for the purpose of the photo op or whatever.
Which, don't get me wrong, I love.
Great.
So keep doing
those.
It. Don't stop doing it.
Please never stop doing this.
Never stop.
But you're right. There's some.
Stop. And we can.
That was backwards.
Yeah. I was gonna go with it, but
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But Duncan's going to be happy because we had a Kristin singing moment in this episode.
And we won't be the only one, Duncan. This is the very beginning. We have many things to talk about. I'm sure Corey will say something else that will remind me of a song.
Yeah, just in general. But yeah, this one, it has a lot of heart behind it, having them all gathered around there and just hanging out and catching up.
And I always thought Jessica Biel had a falling out, so I was actually so excited she was there. I'm like, they do still like each other, because they always made it sound like, she want to go be on Maxim and be crazy. And I'm like, didn't she still love them? But she does.
She does love them.
Still love each other.
It's beautiful. I also discovered that she has kind of a great Twitter.
Does she?
Yeah, which surprised. Like, I've never been super attached to Jessica Biel.
Me neither. I kind of find her kind of obnoxious.
Yeah, like her movies I generally really dislike. So I was like, aside from Cellular, of course. But
whoa.
Yeah, that's above
Pump
reproach.
your brakes there.
But yeah, her Twitter is very entertaining and very self-deprecating and
is it? Okay.
Self-aware. And yeah, it's
actually I don't watch New Girl anymore, but I read this article that it was like really great, and one of my favorite characters
that she was on it. Yep.
from My Boys, which is a show nobody ever watched. I'm the only person in the history of time, apparently.
And she's always quoting it and stuff too, like it's like that time on My Boys, and it's like nobody knows what you're talking about, Kristin.
I know. So if anybody out there watched My Boys, Brendan from My Boys was on the season premiere of New Girl, and so I watched it, and she was in it also, and she was actually, and I was kind of mad at the end. I'm like, Actually, she was really funny in that. And kind of annoyed that I liked it so much.
Yeah.
But
Well, and that's the same too. She was on Jimmy Kimmel did like a fake I don't remember if it was like a shake weight commercial or something like that, but it was like a sexual sort of exercise.
Okay, yes.
Do you remember this? And it was like it had like Sofia Vergara was in it.
Yes,
and, like,
I did see that.
And Jessica Biel was in it, and she was so good at being like playing it like she was serious, but actually being super hilarious, like humping things and like so I think I need to start giving her more credit.
I wonder if maybe she needs to do like comedies.
Yeah. Like more
like you know how Justin Timberlake tried to be serious? I'm like, don't be serious.
Yeah,
like maybe she's the same as her husband. Like maybe you should try being funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Like let's
maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, she's a funny person. Stop trying to make her like an action star or like dramas.
Like everyone needs a comedy. Just let's try that next.
Yeah, I'm for
a good comedy. Don't do a lame one. Do a good one.
That actually is probably a good.
Anyway, I don't know what. So Jessica, if you're listening, make a good comedy. That's what we want from you. Comedy. You were great in New Girl.
We're rooting for you.
We are.
All of a sudden.
It's amazing what your Twitter will do. It'll turn you right around.
That's how I feel about Twitter in general. There's so many celebrities where like I was like meh, or like even disliked them for their public image or the movies they were in and stuff like that. And then I saw their Twitter feed and I'm like, you know, you're not bad. I would hang out with you. I would totally hang out with you. So I think that's the magic of Twitter. It can also go the exact opposite way and you end up being like, oh, you're terrible. But
that's unfortunate.
Yeah, but for the most part, I think Twitter's good for celebrities. It humanizes them a little bit.
There you go.
Although, here's my one thing I never get with Twitter and celebrities is when they name drop.
Hold on, stop. I need to write. You're going to not get something with Twitter? So. I'm going to write it down.
This is a momentous occasion.
9:23. Okay, go. I'm listening.
5:25 p.m. It's when celebrities name drop on Twitter. It's like you're already famous. Why do you need to constantly be like, oh, I was with my close friend so-and-so?
Yeah.
And like, yeah, they're famous too. You're famous, they're famous, good times. Like,
I kind of just assume you're all friends,
right,
if I'm
like,
honest.
Hollywood has like 10 people in it. You all know each other. I get that. I will never understand the point of famous people name dropping. And it makes you sound desperate when you're already someone everyone thinks is super cool. Yeah. So, I don't know.
Yeah, well.
That's my Twitter thing. I do not get.
Gosh, Twitter.
That and why Michael J. Fox, Sheryl Crow, and Neve Campbell were trending yesterday. That's my other.
Together?
They were separate trends.
Oh.
But if you looked at the trends, all that you would see were people asking why they were trending. So I was like, I have no idea where it started. I feel like it's a big social experiment. Like someone on 4chan was like, can we get it to trend?
This is my issue with Twitter. You're walking into the middle of somebody's conversation, and I'm continually lost.
Yeah. This is not usually an issue for me, but yesterday I was baffled by it. And the funny thing was that I posted a tweet that said, like, is Neve Campbell only trending because people are asking why Neve Campbell is trending? And it got retweeted and favorited a ton of times. So clearly I wasn't the only one who was sitting here like, what is this happening? I don't understand.
Oh, man.
Anyways, that's happening. So let's talk about TV.
Let's please, because I've been holding in my Gotham thoughts for you all day.
So
it's been
you wanna
really
start
hard.
with Gotham then?
Huh?
You want to start with Gotham then?
Aren't we? Yeah, doesn't everything start there?
Everything starts with Gotham. It all goes back to Gotham. Kristin,
it does,
go!
Literally. The show is the beginning of it all.
Oh, God. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, it was great. There was a couple, and I think I'm chalking it up to, you're right, awkward pilot. There were a couple moments where I'm like, okay, but all in all, I love Ben McKenzie, so I'm always going to love him, I think. Donald Logue was awesome. But I'm sorry, freaking Penguin stole that episode. Stole it from everybody.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This guy is a breakout in this role.
Where has he... And then he's an Accepted, which I was like, he is an Accepted. Which is one of those movies that's like always on FX.
Yeah,
exactly. Like, oh, Accepted, yeah, I'll watch it again. I don't think I've actually ever seen the whole movie,
like,
maybe.
Yeah, straight through, no.
Yeah. But so I'm like, that's like the only thing I recognized him from. So I don't know, but he is so good. Just so creepy.
He's really, and he gets the opportunity to sort of, like, run the gamut of emotions and reactions in a way that most of the people in this don't really get to. Like, they all have their objective or their thing they do, and his is so muddled because, you know, he's got this sort of mother-son relationship with Fish, and yet he's betrayed her, and like, so, and you can never tell entirely when he's being genuine and when he's scheming, or if there is any line between those two things. He's always somewhere in the midst of that.
Yeah. And you're thinking, and you're like, he's got some kind of bigger ploy, because there's like, why else was he snitching?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, we all have our time. And then when that part when Gordon's got him, you know, that's actually part in the trailer, I think, when he's like, this whole city's gonna bleed, you know, and he's like freaking out. You're like, okay, is he just being crazy, or is something coming that we, you know, and you're just like,
that he knows about and the rest of them have no idea.
Yeah, and it's so good.
He was just so good in it. And I think I love the cinematography and the feel and look of this. It's somewhere between like comic book and video game, while also not having that like fake look to it. So there's something about it that really, I don't know, is sort of surreal when you're watching it, but at the same time very gritty and very real. It's everything about the show is just sort of like at the crossroads of various things.
Yeah, and I'm really excited to see Harvey and Jim's relationship play out. Especially just, I don't know, because there's this part, okay, I'm like, I don't really like Harvey, but I'm like, actually, I kind of like Harvey. I'm like, he's kind of a douchebag, but he's kind of not. Like, I'm so on the fence with him, so I'm like, it's going to be really interesting to see, because I think at his core, I think he's a good guy.
Maybe. Like, I don't know.
I don't know. So right now I'm leaning towards, I think he's a good guy. I'm wondering, part of me, if he started out like Jim.
Right, like blindly idealistic about doing the right thing.
Yeah, I'm going to save the city, and then it just went south. Yeah. Whereas, like, so I don't know, but you don't know, which is great about it. So I'm like, I can't wait to see how it unfolds, and anyway, so I'm excited.
Yeah, it was really fun to watch. I think I really
that's the other thing, fun. Also, fun. I found another glamorous black woman I want to be, Jada Pinkett Smith.
Oh man, poor Kristin.
Her hair, oh my gosh, when she was yelling, when she moved and the umbrella wasn't over, she's like, boy, if this hair frizzes, and I was like, I want to say that with gusto, and people listen to me.
So good.
Oh, it was so great, and just, I don't know. I know. I'm just like, and one more, and just chalk it up.
Yeah.
Just add her there under Michelle and Olivia.
Yeah, you were born in the wrong body, Kristin.
I know.
Yeah, you guys, I definitely think you should be watching Gotham. I think, especially because, as I've said, pilots are always awkward.
Sure.
And the awkward factor was low.
Yes, sure. There was only like not even a handful of moments where I was like,
And so when you're already starting at something like this, unless it really just like crashes and burns, if it only goes up from here, we're gonna have a phenomenal show.
Yeah,
something that I think could be compelling for many seasons. And Kristin sent me an article too that was talking about potential crossovers with other DC shows that are on the air.
There's honestly nothing I love more than a crossover. Even if I don't watch a show, but I hear there's going to be a crossover, I'll watch it, which is ridiculous.
That is a little ridiculous, but that's great.
It's like, doesn't make it, logically, I understand that makes no sense, but I'm like, oh, crossover? I'm totally going to watch it. Like, what is it? What shows are they crossing over? You know?
And when they're well executed. Oh.
I love it. I never watched Chicago Fire, right? But then they had the spin-off Chicago PD, and then I've started to watch Chicago PD, and the Taylor Kinney was on an episode, and I was so excited. I'm like, oh, they're going to do a crossover? I hope I get to see it when I'm watching these episodes of Chicago PD.
And now he's like, so dumb, he's dating one of the characters on Chicago PD. And so,
that's what I thought was happening in this one episode I watched. Yeah. Well, or at least they were about to. Anyway.
I think that's how the end of the season ended up, that it was like he and Sophia Bush. Yeah. So,
oh my gosh, I love her.
So it's like a total crossover, and they had the SVU crossover with it, and it's so, I love it. I love it. Do that. So, and I really think it would be a cool cross. I was thinking it might be hard to do with Arrow only. Yeah. Because of like the time difference, but remember there was that one article about Flash about how his
powers had something to do with like the time port, all those things. I'm like, they could do a crossover because he could go back in time. Oh my god! I was like,
I think it could work, and I think that's awesome. And they're talking about, tone is obviously important in it, and the shows don't have the exact same tone, but I think if they can make it work.
I think so. I think if they tried hard enough, they could.
Yeah, we believe in you guys.
We believe in you.
Make it happen.
Give us a crossover.
In the future of this epic Gotham that I want to last forever. I feel great about it. So, Gotham, watch it. But that brings us to then this BuzzFeed article that... Yeah. It was basically 10 fall shows to be excited about, 10 to give a chance, and 4 to avoid. So we're gonna talk a little bit about these. We were a little disappointed because it gave Gotham the sort of meh, give it a try. Yeah. And I'm like, what?
If you have time. And we were like, whoa.
Hold on. Yeah. Let's be real about this. This is a great show and everyone should be watching it. I don't know what the deal is. But the first thing it starts out with though, first is the Be Excited is The Chair, which is on Starz. Do people get Starz?
No.
Isn't that
nobody gets? Which is my thing with Outlander.
Yeah, Outlander.
Outlander. And it's like, it's on Starz. Nobody
and
has
they don't
that channel.
Put it anywhere. Ever since Netflix and Starz broke off their engagement, it's not like you can watch it somewhere else. So I always have to remember that people normally torrent things and stuff like that, so they watch them online. I don't torrent stuff.
I don't even know what it means, so I can't do that either.
Illegally downloading things.
Oh,
stuff
yeah,
like
I don't do that.
I only ever watch stuff if I can buy it or stream it on, like, Hulu or something like that. And so I will never see Outlander.
Yep.
I'm not going to, like,
I watched
buy
the first episode on YouTube, which they put it on there for, promotional reasons.
Mm-hmm. But
yeah.
So
I
chair
skipped
thing,
this one.
Yeah, I'm like, who cares?
Read it. I'm like, don't care.
I'm sure it's wonderful, but it's inaccessible. But then it goes on to Avoid the Mysteries of Laura, which was really disappointing. Did you watch it, Kristin?
I didn't. When was it? It's obviously been on.
It was last Wednesday that it premiered. And the commercials looked fun. I was like, this looks like a fun sort of cop thing. And she's like a bad cop, but like, whatever. And the show was so bad. And it has Josh Lucas. Is that the one who's in Sweet Home Alabama?
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, he's also in Secondhand Lions, which we talked about last week.
This is like the third week in a row Secondhand Lions has come up, actually.
You guys, I really like that movie.
Which is, I think, coincidentally, the 3 times that Secondhand Lions has been mentioned anywhere in the universe in the past
Whatever,
3
guys.
weeks.
I watch it with my parents, and we just find it delightful.
Yeah, so anyway, Josh Lucas, he is in this too, and he plays her, like, estranged husband.
Yeah, of course.
And
because she's a cop, so she can't have a family, right?
Right, but she has 2 boys who are little hellions, and then the first episode had Enrico Colantoni.
Oh, from
Veronica Mars.
Yeah,
or
Veronica
Flashpoint.
Mars.
Also from Galaxy Quest. Can we both go with that?
Oh, I did love. That's right, Galaxy Quest.
And then it turns out he's like a bad guy immediately, and they get rid of him. And I was like, he was supposed to be her boss, and then
what a waste!
It's like a double cross. I know. I was like, what? But it also had another one of the aliens from Galaxy Quest in it too, and he killed that guy. And I was like, funny. But anyways,
was she wearing a red shirt?
Maybe. Anyways. The Mystery of Laura is so bad, though, and it's, like, playing on all these ridiculous TV tropes, and it's, like, it's worse than any sort of cheesy procedural out there. It's, like, really they did not fill in anything, and it's just meh. And it ends with Josh Lucas, her husband, getting, like, appointed as, like, the chief of whatever of her department, her police department, and you're like, there's no freaking way that would happen. There's no way they put a husband in charge of his soon-to-be ex-wife's police department.
Yeah.
No. Whatever suspension of disbelief, like, leeway I was giving this show for the rest of it was just, like, out the window at that point. I was like, seriously? And this is gonna be our conflict, that, like, her husband is in power over her? Really?
Yeah.
In 2014.
Well, good, I'm glad I didn't watch it.
Yeah, no, it's bad news bears. So, you know what, Deborah Messing, you can do better.
Come on, girl.
You can do better.
Get it together.
And then there was Red Band Society is their next Be Excited.
Yeah.
It was cute. I think it has room to grow, and I just want to. It could be Glee.
It has Octavia Spencer, who I love.
Yeah, so that's great. And it also has Thomas Ian Nicholas.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. But Kristin refuses to watch it because it's about dying kids.
Yeah.
Which seems reasonable.
I'm in a cancer thing right now where I'm trying to avoid all things about kids who have cancer or people with cancer. So
that makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
Just
kind of my life stage right now.
I'm like, let's not watch kids die.
You know, yeah. I'm like, I don't need that in my my fiction life.
Yeah.
Trying to escape.
And watching it, it's like you're watching a show that you know is going to break your heart.
Yeah, totally.
And I was like, as much as I like a good cry,
it's one of those things where, like, if I want my heart broken, like, I'll purposely watch something like a movie.
Yeah.
I don't want to, like, continually have my heart broken.
Every week.
Yeah. You know, lift it up, like, and then like, oh, wait, hold on, let me just reach in and match that.
Yeah. But I will say for it that at least in this show, they have characters that are sort of not your typical. I mean, they are typical in some ways, but they also sort of like the idea that these cancer patients have like sort of a full range of existence instead of just being, which I think is sort of what The Fault in Our Stars does too, right?
Okay, like they're more than just their cancer.
Yeah, and so it's like instead of it being like these magical children who, you know, have all the knowledge of the world, like one of the characters on it, this girl is just so dislikable and such an awful human being, and you're like, oh, well, that's different. She's not really a hero, and I'm afraid they're gonna make her into one. Like she's going to change and grow into like this heroic person. I'm like, I kind of want her to just stay terrible. Yeah. And that's it, you know? But yeah, you know, it's worth watching. And then I watched it. They have Be Excited for Madam Secretary. And I watched that the other day, and it was so boring.
Was it? I thought it was putting him like Tia Leone?
Yeah.
What? I saw the picture. I'm like, first of all, I didn't even recognize her. And then I was like, wait, where has she even been?
Yeah, seriously. You don't
I thought was funny, but
think a whole lot of her.
That just wouldn't be something I would watch. I'm trying to look at this. I'm honestly going to be really boring in this conversation because I've watched.
Yeah, well, we don't have to go through all of them, but
one of them.
Yeah, you've only watched one of all of them.
I've watched Gotham,
and you haven't watched any of the other ones. Oh man,
no. Nope. Selfie looks miserable.
Okay, I was just about to bring up Selfie.
Okay.
Because I watched they had like a clout perk thing that was like, watch Selfie early. And I think anyone could have, you just had to know how to get to it or whatever. But I was like, okay, I'll watch Selfie. I love John Cho. Absolutely love John Cho. So I was like, of course I'm going to watch this show. And I think this is one of those shows also, it has like potential. But for one thing, Karen Gillan is playing a character that I feel like should be 10 years younger than she actually is. The way she talks and everything, you're like, this is not an adult, like, 27 or 28-year-old woman, you know? Like, because you and I, we talk kind of like teens on the internet, but at the same time, not. You know?
I also don't know what SMH means.
Right, so. Exactly. You know, we have our sort of boundaries on where we act sort of like adults. And in this, she's just so, like, a 19 or 20-year-old person that I'm like, it's not super believable. And on top of it, in Hollywood, Karen Gillan is a giant. And so that adds to her looking older and not quite fitting the, like, person she's supposed to play. And the first half of this show, you guys, it opens with the most disgusting scene I think I have ever seen in a sitcom. Like, I nearly hurled and turned it off, which I think could potentially be a barrier to people who are going to watch this show, because it basically involves her having a terrible day on an airplane. She ends up puking in, like, the little, you know, air sick bags, and these bags spilling all over her, and you see it, and it's awful. And I was just like, is this what this show is gonna be? I think I can do without it. But it's got its funny moments, and the second half of the pilot is a lot better than the first half. So I would stick it out through the first half. If you don't like the second half of it, I imagine you're probably not going to like the rest of the show. I will probably watch the second episode and see how it comes out. Because, again, John Cho. He's wonderful. I'm still mourning Go On, because I loved that show so much.
Oh, the Matthew Perry one. That's right.
Oh,
I remember that one. That was when I watched a couple episodes. I liked it. It was just one of those ones that fell off my... I just didn't have time.
Yeah, exactly. But that was... that show was my...
the one I actually want to talk about on this list was Grace Point.
Oh, yeah. That's...
Because...
Definitely.
Because I remember reading book books. It's very confusing. Because one, it's essentially the exact same...
show.
I mean, David Tennant is in it.
Yeah.
And he's in the UK version, Broadchurch. So I'm like, and that was, as I'm reading it, I'm like, she had me convinced. I'm like, yeah, why don't we just watch why don't they just show the original one?
Why not just buy the rights to put this on television here? I don't understand.
Yeah. So I kind of want to watch the old one, actually, like more than I want to watch this.
Yeah, I've been looking for the old one forever, but there's...
They don't have it. They don't even have it like on DVD or anything.
I'm sure it is, but I don't buy DVDs.
Oh, okay.
It's ridiculous. But don't be crazy.
Sorry.
No, but I've been hoping it would come on like Netflix or Hulu.
I'm sure it will eventually.
But, yeah.
Well, this thing too is like sometimes I actually kind of appreciate this about well, maybe I can't even think of one that's stopped, but I feel like British TV sometimes knows when to stop.
Yeah, they do. They quit. They plan it ahead, or they're like,
like, this is going to be 10 episodes. It's almost like they're all mini. They have tons of mini series, which I'm like. At one point, I'm like, oh, it's kind of a bummer, but I'm like, but then it's like wrapped up and it's good
satisfying.
And you know what to expect, and
it doesn't jump the shark.
Yeah, it never has that issue. So I feel like this is just gonna. I don't know. I mean, I don't know anything about it, but I like David Tennant. It really is the point of the story. So I'll probably watch this.
Yes.
And I think I'm on this kick, I guess, where I'm only watching Fox shows. So
sometimes, I'll find that I'm only watching shows from one network, like on a given season. I'm like, oh my God, everything you're making right now is working for me. Okay, that's fine. But yeah, I'm excited about it tentatively. But the thing is, I want to watch it, but at the same time, I also kind of want to watch the other one first. But I can't watch the other one
so
first.
I haven't decided what I'm gonna do.
Oh man,
we'll see.
TV fan problems. I don't know. But
struggle is real, people.
The struggle is super real. But David Tennant should always be on the TV. And have you watched like the commercials or anything like that?
I watched like a trailer thingy or something. It was a while ago.
His American accent just like throws me off. I'm like, this is weird. It is so weird.
It's like the opposite. It's like when you hear Hugh Laurie speak in his British accent, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, like,
what?
Hold on, that's not real. Yeah, and like he sounds like an American. It's fine. It's just more like that. I'm like, this is not David Tennant.
Yeah,
you're supposed to have that Scottish thing going on.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Word.
So the thing is here, I don't haven't seen a lot of David Tennant because I haven't gotten to his episodes in Doctor Who.
Oh boy.
So I know I don't know. I think someone told me to skip ahead. I don't know if that's the thing I can
skip Christopher Eccleston, and you can totally skip him.
Okay, I don't know really how it works. I'm honestly just trying to give it a chance so I understand what people are talking about.
Yeah, that's fair.
But he was in this movie called Decoy Bride.
Oh, Decoy Bride,
which is one of my favorite movies, and I watch it regularly on Netflix. And he's so wonderful in it, and it's just fantastic. It's a great movie, a great romantic comedy. I love it, and ever since then I'm like, I want to see everything he's in because I love him so much. He's so great.
It's definitely obsession worthy. Decoy Bride is so worth it.
It's so good.
It was one of those ones that sat in my queue forever until Kristin and our friend Michelle were like, you need to just watch this. I did not regret it. It was glorious.
So
you
good.
Watch it. And
Kelly MacDonald is just...
Yes, Kelly MacDonald. Oh my God.
I just relate so much with her because she's so awkward, but it's like in like such a real...
Yeah.
I'm like, that's how... Sometimes you watch movies and they're like awkward, and you're like, no one's that awkward. I'm like, but she is like a regular kind of awkward.
Yeah.
Where you're like, that could happen. That would happen.
Yeah, I can see this being a thing that happens in my life. Yeah.
I'm like, I relate to you so well. But anyway, David Tennant.
David Tennant.
He's just wonderful. I even loved his creepy ass self in Harry Potter.
I know, right? So good. But I'm like trying to think what else on here is... and then they talk about Mulaney, which is exactly what I thought
I did too, because I hadn't even heard of it until right before I read this. I saw it was like on Hulu or something. There was a commercial for it.
Mulaney.
And I was so mad because he was like making some really terrible. It was like a women's joke, and it was awful. And I'm like, oh, you must be tripping right now with this, sir. Are you kidding?
What was the joke? It's something about like. It's one of those like, oh, we couldn't have this happen with women because you
couldn't have women do Ocean's 11.
Yeah, that's it.
You couldn't have a gang full of women because one of them would just be talking about. It
was like four of them would break off and talk about the others or something like that. It's like.
And it was like, I'm not even smiling at this.
Yeah.
None of it.
And then he's
like the joke of like, oh, the agent doesn't, I don't think he'll ever, make it or something. It's like, oh, why? Well, the agent said I'm never going to. And there's like this laugh track. I'm like, that's not funny.
That wasn't funny. That's, oh God, that is the oldest joke in the world. And then he has that other one about meeting parents that is just so poorly delivered, where it's like, I've never thought to myself, this date is going really well. It would make it even better? Chip and Ellen Mulaney. And you're like, oh.
Yeah,
gosh.
Stop.
It's so bad. And so this BuzzFeed article verifies the author, by the way, watched 4 episodes of Mulaney. Wow. Not just the pilot. And she said, or he said, I don't know who wrote this. They laughed once. And it was she. Okay. She laughed once. And it was at like an expression that a cat made in the show. So I feel good about my initial misgivings on that show. And I'm like, it looks so unfunny.
Yeah.
So terrible.
I'm really sad that I can't get Channel 2 because I really want to watch NCIS New Orleans. You guys. My TV dad.
That's true. I saw an article earlier today on the Daily Dot that was something about like NCIS, still the most popular show that no one on the internet cares about, or something like that. I was like, that's true. Nobody on the internet cares that that's a thing, but it's so popular.
Say.
Yeah, Scott Bakula, and their spin-offs have worked, right? Like,
I actually do really love the Los Angeles one. I mean, what's not to love about it? Chris O'Donnell, and listen to this cast, people. Okay. Chris, I can't even get a straight face. But in all seriousness, LL Cool J.
LL Cool J.
Chris O'Donnell, and then my personal favorite, Eric Christian Olsen, who is just
Eric Christian Olsen.
Yeah, I know. Oh, boy. It defies life and science. But
yeah, I don't understand it, but I'm going to accept it.
I just loved Fired Up. I know I'm the only person in the world.
I don't even know what that is. What is Fired Up?
It's this like cheerleading movie where that
I had a feeling that was going to be what it was.
So funny.
Oh boy.
But I realized nobody else. I'm okay with that. That's one of those movies where I'm the only one that gets it.
You gotta be comfortable with it. You own it.
Yeah, I'm totally into it. I'm okay with it. But and he's just really funny on the show, and he's like the fall guy. Anyway, it's like cheesy and great, and it's got yeah, it's good. I don't care.
Okay.
I'm one of the people on the internet that does get you, so don't worry about it.
You're not really on the internet.
NCIS, you do you.
Seriously. That's most of it. Well, and then there's that Black-ish show, and I don't really know what to think about that. And How to Get Away with Murder is happening, and I'm really excited about that.
I'm just super excited about Dean Thomas.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Because I
feel creepy, but man, he growed up good.
Here's the thing, and this is going to be even creepier. I called it that he was going to grow up good.
Yeah, that is way creepier.
Because seriously, like from the first one, I was like, ooh, that little boy's like so cute. And then probably at a point
we're closer to his age, though. I mean, like,
and right, and like they were all kind of cute, but it's like, and I think it was like the 5th one or so. I'm like, oh, because he like shot up real quick in one of the movies, like
just
he was
like
short,
Neville.
and the next one he was tall. I'm like, dude, that guy's gonna be freaking hot. Yeah. And I was always like, I love Dean. And my friend was like, you're disgusting and weird. I'm like, trust me. And I'm like, what?
You're gonna get me in a few years.
What now, internet?
Yeah, and he was on Sherlock.
Yeah. And I was like,
and you were
I
right.
Say I told you so, but
you can do. Yeah, you did. Oh man, I didn't see it coming. It just hit me out of nowhere, and I'm like, holy cow, he is so good looking, and that show looks bananas. Like,
yeah, it does. It looks a little stressful. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those are some of the fall things we were talking about. But and then the one thing we also have to talk about is the Mindy Project premiere that was last week. That
perfect.
Was,
and
how does that show do it to us? They know their audience so well.
They do. And is Morgan's cousin going to be in it more?
I don't know.
I hope he's like a reoccurring. Not like he doesn't have to be like a regular, but like a reoccurring
but, like, comes
person.
Back every now and
he
then.
Was perfect. When he sat down at that piano, I thought I was going to pee my pants.
Yeah. I can't even. And he has a tattoo of what looks like, I can't remember his name now, but I think I called it out. That it was the guy who plays the sheriff, in Robin Hood Men in Tights. I can't remember what that guy's name is.
I don't remember who it is.
But yeah, it's ridiculous, like just on his neck. Just out of...
Oh my gosh. So good.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah, and so this episode ends. Throughout this episode, we find out over the course of it that Danny was a stripper named Diamond Dan. After Mindy finds a pair of underwear in his drawer that is conspicuous. And at the end of the episode, he then does a little striptease for Mindy that basically blew up the internet.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
And her reaction is
when she puts her glasses.
Yeah. When she puts...
She's like,
I love her because she always puts her glasses on in the most spastic way. Yeah. Like, you take your glasses and you, like, put them on like this.
Yeah.
Mindy does this.
Yeah.
She uses, like, her entire palms to, like, put them on. It's like she's never put glasses on in her life. It's, like, one of my favorite... Oh, it's so good. But, that show just consistently delivers.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I know, I think people now like him, and they didn't used to, but Adam, is it Pally or Paley?
I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce it. Let's call him Pally, because that's how it's spelled.
And he kind of, I feel like that's how he would say it, because he has that accent a little
bit.
He
does have that, yeah.
So, like, Adam Pally's character is still one of my favorite people on that show.
Yeah.
Like, and his hair in this last one was just killing me, and the tiara when he was, oh my god, I was just gonna die. Just perfect. Just, it was great. It's so fun. And then, which made me really excited because Brooklyn Nine-Nine comes back on Sunday. So now my favorite things in the world will be back, which will be great.
These are the two most important things on television as far as I'm concerned.
I know. And I tell people that. And I tell them that it is.
Yeah. It's basically, if you want to understand us, watch Mindy Project.
True.
Just in general. I'm like, this is basically who we are and how we think. And I think it speaks for a certain subset of the millennial group.
It totally... I mean, she just is so... Like, yeah. Like, you just... Yep. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes exactly. To all of those things. And she says things, I'm like, that's how I feel about those things.
You have articulated exactly my life.
I've never known how to put that into thoughts. But there's words, but you have somehow done it in the most ridiculous way possible.
Yeah. It's just amazing. And Brooklyn Nine-Nine is coming back, and I can't wait for that. And life is good. TV is good. You guys, there's so much going on, and I'm happy about it.
Me too.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's also nearing Halloween and things like that, and so
if you're into that, it's also exciting for you.
It's not in Halloween. Halloween's the best.
It's finding a costume is so hard.
Oh, I never dress up. I'm terrible.
And no one ever gets my costumes because my thing is I don't want to pay for them, so I use them out of my closet. So last year I spent all Halloween because I was a ceiling fan, so I wrote like "Go Ceiling" on my back, like #1, like you're great. So I spent all Halloween trying to describe like I'm a ceiling fan, like I'm a fan of the ceiling, and people just were like, "Oh!" And some people thought it was funny, and some people just like walked away from me.
Yeah,
you know. So just like every year, and maybe if I was less cheap, I'm just not going to spend money on something I'm going to wear one, and then the next year I'm going to spend money again for one night. Get out of here with that.
Yeah, no.
Absolutely not.
That is foolish. I feel okay about that.
It's a fool's errand, I say.
It is. Exactly. No, I'm with you. I'm terrible with costumes, but I do like watching horror movies and handing candy to people at the door. So
I do like eating candy.
I don't really like candy.
And I actually like it because I think sometimes you always get those really cute kids who come by your door. No one comes to my door because I have an apartment, but...
Well, that's... Anyway. Really? Nobody comes in your apartment? I don't know.
Maybe I haven't been at my house on Halloween the past 2 years.
Because I feel like apartment complexes are like gold mines for kids. They don't even have to like go anywhere. They just stay.
I don't think well, there's also not a lot of kids in my complex.
Okay, well that's fair.
Either that or they're really quiet.
Yeah, I just remember a couple of years ago, one of my favorite things was this like 11-year-old kid who was hitting on me while trick-or-treating. It was like he and his 2 little brothers who were dressed like they were all dressed as different superheroes. He was someone I don't super like pay attention to. Like, let's just say the Hulk for argument's sake.
It was Shazam?
He was Shazam. And he was with a kid who was dressed as Iron Man and a kid who was dressed as Wolverine. And sorry, there was barking. I was just making sure it wasn't my dog. And so I was like, oh, Wolverine! He was Green Lantern, that's what it was. So I was like, oh, Wolverine's my favorite. I love Wolverine. And, this kid's like 4 and he's like just smiling. And then I say to the one who's Iron Man, he's like, oh, I love Iron Man too. And this kid just looks at me and goes, how about Green Lantern? You need Green Lantern? I was like, oh my God, did you seriously just say it like that? And
he will do great things.
Yeah, oh my God, I could not believe it. And he said something else in this, like I was just so caught off guard that I was like, yeah, Green Lantern's cool. Handed him some candy, and he said something else in this exchange that I was just like, oh my God. And the mom just looked at me like, I'm sorry. Yeah. I can't tame him.
Inappropriate.
I cannot tame this child. But I was like, I'm actually kind of impressed.
I can't be tamed.
Oh my God, that was amazing. Wow, that needs to be a GIF.
Oh yeah, that's my golden knife, to be a GIF.
To be a GIF. Well, that would make a good one. So yeah, these things are happening. Mindy Project, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Let's do it. Nick Jonas.
Okay.
Oh, let me just say I do kind of love the song.
Okay. Yeah, the song. Well, the thing is, it came on the radio, and when I listened to it, I'm like, oh, this is a good song. I'm like, oh, it's a Nick Jonas song, because I realized I didn't actually listen to it during the video because I was so...
Yeah, because you're just like, what is going on?
Freaked out by the video. It doesn't... Yeah. It just is so nonsensical.
Yeah, so in this video, it's all basically like green screen or whatever, and he's got... Like, how do you even begin? This video begins with him, like, walking down, like, a highway.
Yeah.
And singing. And he's like, the billboard, this just sets the tone. The billboard behind him says gratitude with 2 T's. Like, attitude. And I don't...
So, like, was that on purpose?
Right, and then it keeps coming up through the rest of the thing, and I'm like, I don't get what they're trying to say. Like, is he trying to say he has an attitude of gratitude? Did they just misspell it?
Does he not... Does he have a bad attitude about being grateful? Like,
I don't...
It's just... I don't... And then there's, like, an old lady playing the piano.
Yeah.
And a hot girl playing, like, a cello or something.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like this girl, like, the song's called Jealous, and it's about him getting jealous of her having other people's affection. So, like, okay, so this hot girl, she's a brunette, and she's playing the cello and all this, and singing along, and she's, like, in a car with him and stuff. And then at one point, there's, like, a blonde with some old guy, and I'm like, is that the same
she's, like,
person?
Doing, like, line dancing or something, isn't she? Or doing some kind of weird dance.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's the same person and they just changed her hair color, but then I'm like, well, now, shouldn't she be the one that's jealous if this is a different person? Because now you have 2 video girlfriends.
Yeah. I don't...
It's so bizarre.
I don't know. I don't know.
Let me say, though, it appears that Nick Jonas has had dancing lessons since the Pom Poms video.
Oh my God, the Pom Poms video. I forgot about that. He was like the Lance Bass of that group.
He really was. And for the guy who's supposed to be the talent, you're like, oh no, buddy, no.
Dude, just play the drums or the piano.
Yeah, but the song essentially sounds exactly like the song "Jealous" by New Kids on the Block. So of course I like it. But the video is just so nonsensical, you guys. Like,
either watch it.
Are you about to say either watch it or don't watch it?
Yeah, I was. I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
It's watch it, but know that you're in for something really hard to wrap your head around. It's weird because he's trying to be a heartthrob and he's going full pop in this. Like, this is where he was kind of on his first album. He was way more the musician, you know, and this one is very much full, like, he's going boy band with this action. He's Jesse McCartney, you know, all those kinds of boys doing pop. And it's weird. It's a weird thing. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Oh,
it is. It was. Yeah. It defies logic, really. Not even in. I'm just gonna stop. I'm not even. I'm not. It's making me nonsensical. There's like a weird glare. I'm gonna move over a little bit here.
Okay. Yeah. Go for it.
Weird. Flashing my eye.
So there's that. That'll be on the blog. You can check it out for yourself.
If you
dare. Let us know what you think.
I'm kind of chalking this up to similar to Anaconda. So if you want to be,
just
totally like caught off guard and like, watch it. Yeah. Not into that.
Pass it by. Yeah. I feel that.
Don't give it avoid it.
Yeah.
Give it a chance.
Avoid.
So
the final thing we're going to do here, I found a quiz for Kristin.
Oh, man.
To test her 90s knowledge.
Was this all because I couldn't remember the name of that Greek mythology character? Is that how you got this idea?
This was, yeah. Kristin and I were talking, and she had a hard time trying to come up with the name Icarus the other day.
It's a hard name.
But she had some really good suggestions for other names for him. But
pretty sure Aramaeus was really good.
Aramaeus is a good one. But Icarus was who she was looking for. And then I was like, I need a quiz for Kristin. So this quiz is, are you a child of the 90s?
Oh, man. What if I fail? Then where do I belong, Corey?
Then we're going to have to find a new place for you. I don't know. We'll see. But so...
I feel like 90s, I'm not... Okay, go. Just go.
Yeah, we're going to give it a go. We're going to see what happens.
We're going to give it a go. Now I feel like I have to sing everything that you say. Gitchy, yeah, yeah, da, da.
I never said gitchy. I guarantee you I did not say that.
Isn't that how the words go? Yeah, but you said give it a go. We're going to give it a go.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right.
Now it's a problem. Okay, go.
So what I'm going to do is some of them I'll give you the multiple choice. Some of them I'm just going to read them to you because I think you might be able to answer anyway, and reading the choices is dumb. So let's get started. And maybe if you don't get it, I'll give you the choices too.
Okay.
So number 1, rap was just becoming well known in the 90s. Which artist had the first number 1 rap single?
Of the 90s?
Of the 90s.
Will Smith?
No. But that was, in fairness, that was one of the choices, was DJ, Jazzy Jeff, and the Fresh Prince.
It was? Okay, good.
Your choices are MC Hammer, Criss Cross, Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, or Vanilla Ice.
Criss Cross?
All right, I'm putting you down for Criss Cross. Number 2. Novelty children's shows were also a big hit.
It doesn't tell you the answer?
It will, but at the end.
Oh, I hate that. Okay, go.
Novelty children's shows were also a big hit. Which 90s TV show features characters with the name Tommy, Zach, Kimberly, Billy, and Trini?
Oh, a TV show?
Yeah.
Power Rangers.
Yeah. I mean, what? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. Okay, which famous girl group of the 90s sung the theme song to the hit sketch comedy TV show All That?
Spice Girls? Number 1. That's the only 90s girl group I know, I think.
Do you remember the All That theme song?
Nope, I didn't watch All That. Is that one of the cable shows? Was that on cable?
It was on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, I didn't have Nickelodeon.
Oh, man. Okay, so here's your options. 3LW, Destiny's Child, TLC, or En Vogue.
3LW.
Okay. Which record company had huge success in the 90s with artists such as the Notorious B.I.G., Mace, and Total? I'm going to give you the options because I don't know if you're going to know this one. Motown, Death Row, Murder Inc., or Bad Boy.
Bad Boy?
All right. Teeny Bopper Pop was big in the late 90s. Which teen pop idol was not in the Mickey Mouse Club? Justin Timberlake, Britney Spears, Jessica Simpson, or J.C. Chazé? Do you want them again?
No, I don't. Jessica Simpson.
Okay. Clueless was a cult hit in the 90s. Which cast member of Clueless was not featured in the Clueless TV series? Stacey Dash, Elisa Donovan, Donald Faison, or Alicia Silverstone?
Alicia Silverstone.
All right. This is a dark one. What year was Jean-Benet Ramsey murdered? 95, 96, 97, or 98?
95.
Sure. All right. Which NBA team did not win a championship in the 90s? Houston Rockets, San Antonio Spurs, Detroit Pistons, or Los Angeles Lakers?
Los Angeles Lakers.
Okay. Number 9. What group had the hit wonder in the 90s by the name of Love Fool? Do you remember?
What? Love Fool?
Love Fool.
That was the name of their song?
Love me, say that you love me.
I don't... What, name the choices.
Okay. The Cardigans, Was Not Was, The Cores, or Chumbawamba?
Oh, I have no clue who sings that song.
Pick one.
I've never heard of it. I've only heard of Chumbawamba. What were the choices? I don't want to guess that, though. That's not it.
The Cardigans, Was Not Was.
The Cardigans. That sounds kind of girly.
I like your reasoning. All right. These two best friends came together to write the Oscar-winning movie Good Will Hunting.
Oh, this one I know. For sure, because I was in love with them, and my mom wouldn't let me see the movie, though. I know. Ben Affleck and Matt Damon.
Yep. All right. Which phrase is a common catchphrase on South Park? Kick it and kick it good. Oh no, silly gooses. Screw you guys, I'm going home. You are dead ducks, boys.
Screw you, I'm going home.
Okay. Number 12. Which movie did not star actor Brad Pitt? 28 Days, 7 Years in Tibet, 7, or 12 Monkeys?
28 Days.
Who sang the Star-Spangled Banner at Super Bowl 25? Celine Dion, Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, or Toni Braxton?
Toni Braxton.
Okay.
Who would know that?
20. I know,
Let's
right?
Let's be real.
Like, no way would I know.
I don't even know what year that would have been.
Yeah, no, I have no idea.
I don't even know what year we're on now. Okay.
The 90s was a golden age for modern Disney movies. Which Disney movie did not debut in the 90s? Tarzan, Beauty and the Beast, The Little Mermaid, or The Lion King?
Did not debut in the 90s?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh gosh, I watched all of them in the 90s though.
It's true, yeah.
So that's really hard. So it says Beauty and the Beast, Little Mermaid, Lion King, and what was the other one?
Tarzan.
That was definitely in the aughts. Because NSYNC, aughts. I'm going with Tarzan.
All right. Country music became very big in the 90s. Which country music star had a popular television show on PAX TV? Shania Twain, Billy Ray Cyrus, Garth Brooks, or Faith Hill?
What's PAX TV?
I don't even know if it still exists. It was kind of one of those, like, family channels that was sort of Christian-ish.
Billy Ray Cyrus?
Okay. Submitting your answers.
Oh my gosh, I failed.
All right. The first number 1 rap single was not Crisscross. It was Vanilla Ice.
Oh.
You were correct about the Power Rangers. The All That theme song was sung by TLC.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
Bad Boy was indeed the correct record company. Jessica Simpson was not on Mickey Mouse Club.
I always get confused because there's Kids Incorporated, which had like Mario Lopez on it, and I'm like, for some reason I always think JC was on it, but then at the last thing I was like, no, he was on. Anyway, that was, no one cares. Go.
That's fair. Kids Incorporated was great. I loved that show. Alicia Silverstone was not in Clueless series. JonBenet Ramsey was murdered in 96, not 95.
Oh, so close.
So close. The LA Lakers indeed did not win a championship in the 90s. Good job there. And the Cardigans did sing Love Fool. Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, Good Will Hunting. Screw you guys, I'm going home was indeed the phrase.
Wow.
I know. Good job. 28 Days did not star Brad Pitt.
I knew that one.
Whitney Houston sang the Star-Spangled Banner at Super Bowl 25, not Toni Braxton. The Little Mermaid was not made in the 90s. It was made in 1989.
Tarzan was made in the 90s?
I know.
89.
It had to have been like the late 90s that Tarzan came out.
It had to have been like 99.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess it had to have been the 90s though, because it came out when I was in middle school. Because we played songs from it in middle school band. So there's that.
I just knew that I liked it because NSYNC sang a song with Phil Collins on it on the soundtrack, but that could have been at any time.
They did the Trash in the Camp song, right? Yeah.
So, but that could have been in high school, so okay.
That's fair. And then Billy Ray Cyrus was indeed the star on PAX TV. The series was called Doc. So I don't know if it gives you a total here on here.
So I missed
You
3?
missed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5 out of 10?
Out of 15.
Oh.
That's not bad.
Not bad.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, it's
a D? Is that a D?
Yeah, that's somewhere in there.
C's get degrees.
Yeah, you scored 10 out of 15. The average score for this quiz is 8 out of 15.
Yeah, I was going to say, my services are available to help you make guesses on your SATs, because clearly I'm super good at guessing.
Pretty good. Agreed. So with that, we wrap up this week's episode of the Fan Cave. Thanks so much for listening in, you guys. Glad to have you. Thanks to everyone who turned up for the Fan Cave Fiction Club this week, where we discussed the Neverending Story and had an all-around good time that devolved into craziness at the end with lots of photo taking.
Yes,
and whatnot.
You
can check that out on the YouTube, and if you go to our Goodreads page, which I'll link to on the blog, you can join in and help us decide what's going on for the next book, and we will read that and have a good time and get together next month on Google Plus to discuss. Always fun. Until then, make sure that you subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, Tumblr, and everywhere that you can find this podcast, because we love to see you. You can always get in touch with us on Twitter, over email, and on the Electric Feast Facebook page. We always love to hear from you. And I just realized that I didn't add a few comments from last week's a few people added more to the discussion of Code Red, so I apologize to those that I forgot to add your insights to, but we will get to them. And we'll do Netflix Roulette again. You guys can all play along. It'll probably be equally disastrous. So
hopefully,
yeah.
if it all goes
yeah, if all goes as planned, it'll be equally disastrous as Code Red. So until next time, I'm Corrigan Vaughn.
And I'm Kristin Latterell.
Peace out, fangirls and fanboys.
Latruson Beach.
That. Yeah, when I look at this, my thought was, A, I can't believe someone thought to do this, and then B, I can't believe no one thought of it sooner.
Yeah.
It's just so freaking perfect that you're like, yeah, this is what the internet was created for.
I don't want to see nudes of things. I want to see John Malkovich being his creepy self, man.
Exactly.